Now for global business updates, Bosin Omofaye joins us. Good morning, Bosin.
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Yeah, thanks for bringing me. It looks more like more. I hope you're not feeling threatened. The men in suits. All around. I'm sure by now you should get used to it.
I'm used to it.
You can handle it.
I can handle it.
Now let's see if we can all handle this, because oil prices were to change Friday, but remain on track for strong weekly gains as investors weigh the prospect of a wider Middle East conflict disrupting crude flows against an amply supplied global market. Brent crude ticked slightly down 0.1% to $77.54 a barrel. That's 5:38 GMT. U.S. West Texas Intermediate was down less than 0.1% to $73.65 a barrel. U.S. natural gas dropped 0.2%. The U.S. is discussing whether to support Israeli strikes on Iran's oil facilities as retaliation for Tehran's barrage of missile attack on Israel. President Joe Biden said on Thursday, while Israel's military hit Beirut with new airstrikes in its battle against Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. Biden's comments contributed to a 5% rally in oil prices on Thursday as Israel weighs its options after its arch-enemy Iran launched its largest ever assault on Tuesday. In Asia, Pacific markets traded mixed Friday following losses on Wall Street on Thursday, with concerns over Middle East tensions keeping investors on edge in the run-up to September's U.S. payrolls report. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index was up over 2.16%, resuming a rally after slipping 1% in its first hour of trade. Australia's S&P ASX 200 lost 0.78% to close 8,140 points. Japan's Nikkei 225 added 0.25%. Markets in mainland China will reopen on October the 8th. Chinese stocks had been on a tear after authorities announced a slew of market measures last week. And markets await the September jobs report in the U.S. Estimates for September is 140,000 jobs created. That's lower than the 142,000 in August, but higher than the 89,000 figure in July. The unemployment rate in September is expected to remain at 4.2%. The U.S. Federal Reserve will be watching this number closely, as well as the October number ahead of its next meeting in November. In corporate news, according to a person with knowledge of the situation, U.S. real estate developer Alliance Residential Corporation is in talks to get $500 million investment from Japanese home builder Adewa House Industry Co. The person, who asked not to be identified due to private information, stated that the transaction hasn't been finalized, terms could alter, and talks could yet fall through. And still in corporate news, in line with the recent boom in automotive asset-backed securities, Tesla Incorporated is pre-marketing $783 million loan offering secured by the automobile leases of high-quality borrowers. According to a person familiar with the situation who wanted to remain anonymous because they are not authorized to talk publicly, the deal, which is being handled by Societe Generale, will be the electric vehicle maker's second transaction of the year and is anticipated to price next week. The top tranche of the $750 million offer from March had a coupon rate of 5.53%. Here in Africa, in order to restructure $13 billion in Eurobonds, Ghana has gained overwhelming cooperation and backing from its international bondholders. These significant developments signify the end of the West Africa's country's debt rework. According to the Minister of Finance, Mohamed Amin Adam, in Accra on Thursday, eligible holders of 98.6% of the country's outstanding bonds consented to a debt exchange through a consent solicitation, opening the door for the government to issue new bonds to investors in place of the ones that have matured. Taxpayers and tax professionals have been informed by the Federal Inland Revenue Service that the new gazetted withholding tax laws will go into effect on January the 1st, 2025. The Nigerian government released the new withholding tax laws on Wednesday. The advanced payment of income tax on dividends, rent, consultancy fees, brokerage fees, and other items is known as the withholding tax. Small enterprises with yearly revenue of less than 25 million naira are free from paying withholding tax under the new regulations, which aims to lower rates.
Okay, so I'm okay.
There's a whole lot of tax. There's a tax. I could see some.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But let me just add this: the government of Nigeria is also offering tax incentives in the oil and gas sector, with the goal of attracting between $5 to $10 billion in near-term investment for deep water offshore projects. This was stated in a statement made on Thursday in Abuja by Mrs. Olu Vejohen, the head of the Energy Office of the Presidency and Special Advisor to the President on Energy. In addition to significant tax breaks for cooking gas, diesel, and compressed natural gas, the tax relief package also offers fiscal incentives to encourage the purchase of deep offshore oil and gas. And here we go, where I got some good news in the tax break. Let's jump in there. Tell me, what's the big for you?
I'm excited about the withholding tax story, because it's going to help small business under the threshold of 25 million.
And for those of you who have shares in the stock market,
but also
off your dividends.
Also, when you
why are you smiling, doctor?
Also, when you check the last financial act,
yes,
of 2023, 2024,
yeah.
the threshold there for not paying, I think it was VAT then, was only 25 million threshold.
Yes.
But the 25 million threshold, adjusted for inflation, then it's no longer 25 million today.
Wow.
So let's also look at that dynamics. Also, the naira has taken a beating and lost a considerable amount of the value system in the exchange rate. And by the way, concerning the exchange rate, the CBN is now saying they're going to have an electronic model in which they're going to put out the rates, to be able to nullify speculators and everything. Yeah. Let's see how that works. The second one, the conversation around exemptions too are also good in oil and gas sector. But that's not also the conversation. The taxation, yes, exempted will go a long way, but the conversation is about the business climate. Our currency has taken a big haircut. Getting investments is hard in this territory. The risk has increased. The price of money is at an all-time high. To be able to get a capital investment, to be able to invest in these sectors is problematic. You need top dollar. What are the assurances will people be given? There is political risk. Take, for instance, what's happening in Rivers. Also feeds into the political risk. If there are skirmishes in Rivers because of the elections, only God knows what will happen. These are things we should also look at. This tax exemption, yes, it's good. It's a good step in the right direction. But we should also look at the holistic matter.
Right, tax, big one, and I'm glad. There was an event we both went to where Mr. Taiwo Oyedele gave a detailed report of the outcomes, of some of the outcomes of the Joint Tax Committee, which he chairs. Exactly. And part of it was that the political will to actually effect some of the recommendations from that committee. So it's great to see that actually happening. And one of, I think, 8 recommendations that he had made, especially with regards to ensuring that the most vulnerable, especially businesses and individuals in Nigeria, are protected by heavy taxes. And so that's why the withholding tax being gazetted is welcome news. The current withholding tax Act was established as far back as 1978. And of course, since then, a lot of things have changed with business dynamics, the way that small businesses are run, what the kind of businesses that come under that category. So to see that it has finally now gone through a review, and this will be effected 1st of January 2025. So it's not immediate, but at least we look forward to in 3 months' time that coming into.
Yeah, we can wait.
We can
wait from 1978 to today. I guess I was a small boy then.
We can definitely wait 2025. So
we'll still be here.
Definitely a move in the right direction. Yes. I chaired when I said this because we've often, very frequently, advocated for small businesses and the heavy burdens of multiple taxes on businesses that are struggling to survive against all odds. I'm hoping that this will just be the first in the list of recommendations made by the Joint Tax Committee, especially giving tax breaks to small businesses.
Ask what your country can do for you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's talk about oil.
Yes.
Now, yesterday,
I know you're going to bite into the barrel of oil.
President Biden was asked yesterday whether Israel is going to attack Iranian nuclear sites, and he said, facilities. Well, we have advised against that. We only advise Israel. We don't tell them what to do. But that, they've been advised to attack only oil assets belonging to Iran, which accounts for the major part of Iranian revenue. Iran has made it clear that if its nuclear sites are attacked, that will be a red line that will lead to a regional war. So you find the US and UK and the allies saying, don't attack their nuclear sites. However, that comment by President Biden affected the oil prices. WTI went up by about 5.01%, Brent crude by 5.5%. Analysts are saying that if there is any attack, even on oil installations by belligerent Israel, and there will be disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, and we could find a situation whereby oil prices will go up further, even as far as $200 per barrel. Now, Nigeria has a production quota, OPEC production quota of 1.5 million barrels per day. And we say, we have accepted it. We can't do that. Well, what will be the implications for an economy like Nigeria? However, what may save the day internationally is the spare capacity that exists among OPEC Plus members, particularly the Gulf states. But if that crisis escalates, even that spare capacity may be affected. So there's a lot of volatility, this link between politics and oil.
I think, as Rufai said, there's a whole lot of risks out there right now. Geopolitical risk outside, political risks at home, which of course could be a major issue for us looking at investments in the oil and gas sector.
Yes, in the US, September jobs report we're expecting today.
Yes.
And that will give us a direction in terms of whether the US will slip into recession or not. If the September jobs report come in better than expected, JP Morgan is saying maybe 150,000. We had 142,000 in August.
Yes.
Then, of course, the stock market will have cause to celebrate. But the stock market is down, responding to what they call October gravity.
Yeah.
But by later today, once the jobs report come in, we'll know in which
Biden
direction
and Harris will have another cup of coffee if it comes in well. The campaign trail, election is just down the line.
Ghana, they may be jubilating in Ghana.
Oh, Ghana.
This is election year.
Yeah.
They will have an election
in December.
On December 7th.
14 candidates.
And it will be a fight between MPP and the LDC.
And the LDC, yes.
So the MPP will bring positive stories. We have managed our bonds.
Our eyes will be there.
Our economy has turned the corner.
We are going to cover it. We'll be there.
I believe them, but I see it in the context of election year.
Thank God it's Friday.